बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Dear all, the United Theravada Bhikkhunis Sangha International Dharma Program is about to begin. May we have your attention to turn on your video and happily and attentively participating in this inaugural event. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. A very good evening to all of you who are in the Eastern time zone, and good morning for those in the Western time zone. May all be well, safe, and happy. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Bhikkhuni Sumangala, your program moderator today. It's my honor and privilege to welcome all respected Sangha, Most Venerable P. Sibali Mahatero, Chief Sangha Nayaka, General Secretary of Mahabodhi Society of India, and all Venerable Bhikkhus. Welcome also to all respected Bhikkhuni Sangha, Venerable Bhikkhuni Tataloka Mahateri, USA, Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahateri, Indonesia, Venerable Bhikkhuni Vidita Dhamma Liupak Mahateri, Vietnam, Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda Teri, Thailand, Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Teri, Australia, and all Venerable Bhikkhunis, Samaneris, Upasakas and Upasikas, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, ladies and gentlemen around the world. Welcome to the UTVSI Day 7 Dhamma program, the culmination of 7 days Dhamma Desana, with the theme, the pillar, strength, and liberation, in commemoration of Venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Mahateri Parinibbāna Day. Today, 23rd February, is the actual day in commemoration. Indeed, we are very blessed that this 7 days Dhamma Desana went well, and today, the 7th day, we have also lined up a meaningful Dhamma program for everyone. So stay tuned to the whole program and be attentive. Thank you. Now we shall grace the occasion by recalling to mind our refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. With folded palms in Anjali, may we now invite Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahateri, the Chief Dhamma Program Coordinator, United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International, to lead us in the chanting of homage to the Triple Gem and the Aga Savika Vandana, and followed by a short welcoming speech. May Venerable Santini, please.
Most Venerable Sangha members, my dear Dhamma sisters and Dhamma brothers, ladies and gentlemen, let's chant together. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Handamayang Buddhassa Bhagavato Pumbabhaganamakaraṃ Karomase Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato
อะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตธังสารนังกัจฉามิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ ดุติยมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิ ดุติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิ ดุติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิ ตติยมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิ ตติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิ ตติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิ อิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจจารณสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิดูอนุตตโรปุริสธัมมาสารถิสัทธาเดวมนุสสานังบุตโธภควาติสวากขาโตภควตาธัมโมสันเดียทิโกอาคาลิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปานายิโกปัจจัตตังเวดิตัมโบวิญญูหิติสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆญาญาปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสามิจิปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆยะดิดังจัตตาริปุริสยุกานิอัตถาปุริสปุกกะลาเอสะภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนโยปาหุเนโยดักขิเนโยอัญจาลิการณิโยอนุตตรังปุญญเขตตังโลกัสสตินัตถิเมสารนังอัญญังบุตโธเมสารนังวารัง Etena sajja vajjena Sotthiate hotu sabbada Natthi me saranang anyang Dhammo me saranang warang Etena sajja vajjena Sotthiate hotu sabbada Natthi me saranang anyang Sangho me saranang warang Etena sajja vajjena Sotthiate hotu sabbada Ratanyunang Bhikkhuninang Gotamī Jinamatucha Thapita Anggathanamhi Sada Sotthing Karotu no Mahāpajāpatī Namagatha Khematheri Tipakata Sawika Buddha Sethasa Sada Sotthing Karotu no Theri Uppalawanaca Idhimanti Namuttama Sawika Buddha Sethasa Sada Sotthing Karotu no Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Venerable Santini Mahāteri. In commemoration of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Mahāteri Parinibbāna Day, today, in line with the Buddha's lineage since around 2,600 years ago, it reminds us the Buddha's fourfold assembly. Gathering during this day, the Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, and Upasika, in unity and in harmony. Today, we will end this particular program, or the 7-day program, with a special talk by Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahāteri. So let me now introduce Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahāteri.
The biography of Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahāteri. Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahāteri is the chief of the Indonesian Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. She was ordained as a Nagarika on the 29th of September 1990 by the late Venerable Bhikkhu Kirirakito Mahātero. After waiting for a long time, then she found the way to be ordained as Theravada Bhikkhuni by Venerable Dr. H. Gunaratana Mahātero on the 15th of April, year 2000. She has founded a monastery in 1993, namely Vihara Kusalayani. Now the monastery has 3 branches. First, Chetya Sangamita, Kebonjeruk, Jakarta. Second, Vihara Sangamita, Karawang. Third, Vihara Arya Dwipa Arama, Taman Mini, Indonesia, Indah, Jakarta. She traveled to various cities in Indonesia and to several other countries to spread the Dharma. In the year of 2007, the United Nations awarded her the Outstanding Woman in Buddhism Awards 2007. In the revival and development of the International Theravada Bhikkhuni, she was an Upajjhayani or Pavatini 6 times in Australia, and as a Kammawacacharini once in Thailand, and as Bhikkhuni Upasampada Witness once in Sri Lanka and once in India. In June 21st, 2015, the Indonesian Theravada Bhikkhuni Upasampada was held for the first time spectacularly after more than 1,000 years of absence. On that occasion, 9 candidates came from various countries, and Aya Santini was the Pavatini. In year 2020, she was also selected as a recipient of an award from the Pancasila Ideology Development Agency from the Indonesian government. This appreciation was for those who have achievements and innovations that are beneficial to society, nation, and state, as well as the international community. In this case, Aya Santini received an award for the category of Interfaith Mover. Aya Santini's other activities include: first, hosting Dharma retreats for children and adults. Second, hosting meditation retreats 3 times a year in Vihara Kusalayani, once a year in Brahma Vihara Arama, Bali. Third, printing Buddhist magazines for adults and children. Fourth, organizing social activities in several towns. Fifth, recording Dharma talks to send through social media. And sixth, giving online Dharma talks during COVID pandemic.
So we are so blessed to have Aya Santini Mahāteri today. And today is also the culmination of Dhamma Desana of the 7 days program, entitled The Bhikkhunis' Wisdom and Liberation. So let us put our palms together in Anjali to welcome Aya Santini Mahāteri to deliver his talk. Aya, please.
Namo Buddhaya. Humbly, I offer my respect to most venerable bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. My dear Dharma sisters and Dharma brothers, ladies and gentlemen, today we are in the month of Magha, a wonderful occasion to commemorate the Parinibbāna of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Theri. we can use this occasion to recall her life as a bhikkhuni, something which is very meaningful to us, because some of us have also chosen to live a life as bhikkhunis, following her spiritual path. We can learn from her experiences, from her way of thinking and her way of life, so that we can inspire ourselves and thus urge ourselves to be better bhikkhunis. So much we can and must improve. It is interesting to see that Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī decided to live a life as a bhikkhuni after King Suddhodana passed away, meaning she was no longer young when she made that brave decision. If we see around us now, there are many Buddhist women who are still young, still beautiful, still strong, still healthy, and in these conditions, of course, they can do so many things, but how many of them are willing to leave their pleasant conditions and situations, their worldly luxury, in order to pursue a noble goal, Nibbana? Not even 0.0 something percent. But look at Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. I am so amazed by this extraordinary woman. She had passed her physical strength. She had lost her physical beauty. She was young no more. She was befriended with aging, maybe with many dishes. In general, women like her would have lost their energy, lost their struggles, lost their hopes. Not Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. She chose to use the rest of the time she still had and run as fast as possible, the best way possible, to the final goal, Nibbana. Old age did not prevent her from going to the cessation of suffering. We see that her painful struggle gave a wonderful fruit. She attained arahantship. Despite her weak physical conditions, she generated wisdom, enlightenment, and purity. Indeed, the mental quality took charge in winning the victory, a goal attainable by exerting the human strength, human energy, human endeavor, just like what our great teacher, the Buddha, showed himself. Thanks to Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, 500 Sakya women also took the same path, following her example, becoming bhikkhunis. Thus, at her era, for the first time, Bhikkhuni Sangha came into being, with the 500 bhikkhunis ordained. 4 pillars were completed, ready to contribute to Buddhism, to society, and the world, and to women. The life of Bhikkhuni Pajāpatī Gotamī shows us how much wisdom was needed to come to that stage, and more importantly, behind all that, how much hardship she experienced, how much she struggled with all her might to attain what she could win. With human strength, with human energy, with human effort, just like the teacher she adored. The Buddha had shown her the path through his life as an example, and as a true disciple, she faithfully followed the path the best way she could. It was wonderful that she had the support and company of 500 other Bhikkhunis who struggled together with her. Look at the situation now. How many Bhikkhunis are there at present? How many people are interested in spiritual life? The number of population is very big, almost 8 billion, much more than what it was in the Buddha era. But it seems the strong current of present life has flowed to the other end, to suffering. Still everybody says they want happiness. That is why Dharma is so much more needed to bring human beings to the cessation of suffering. That is why the existence of Bhikkhuni Sangha is much more needed to show the path to liberation. But alas, it is not easy to come in contact with Dharma. People need lots of good karma, lots of merits to enable them to go to the direction of Dharma. Only then they will be fortunate enough to understand what Dharma is. Aren't we Bhikkhunis lucky to have Dharma as our protector? That means we have done enough good karma in the past. We have accumulated enough merits. And we Bhikkhunis are very fortunate to have Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī as our example. She has given us so much strength in this life as Bhikkhunis. Let's learn from her. My dear Dharma sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, one thing for sure, a woman is able to reach attainment. Buddhas aren't proved that spiritual attainment was also possible for a woman. Thus, both gender, men and women, have the same right and ability in spirituality. One thing for sure, a lot of women, not only one, have reached the attainment in Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Theri Apadana. We learned that Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Theri attained Parinibbāna with 500 other Bhikkhunis. 500, mind you, not 5, not 50. And that happened when the Buddha was still alive. One thing for sure, the fourth pillar of Buddha Sasana was there when the Buddha was still alive. Our teacher recognized that. One thing for sure, the Buddha honored the fourth pillar of Buddha Sasana very highly. Well, we can say, yes, but that was so long ago. Now the situation is different. After Buddha's passing, it is difficult to reach any spiritual attainment. Society is not the same. Right. Centuries ago, at the time of the Buddha, so many people were interested to live the spiritual life. They seriously wanted to find ways to come to the cessation of suffering. With the wonderful teaching of the Buddha, a path had been built to go to the end of dukkha under the Buddha's guidance, which is so beautiful at the beginning, beautiful in the middle, beautiful at the end. A lot of disciples attained the highest possible attainment, arahantship. But now, alas, now lifestyle are relatively going to the opposite. Worldly pleasures, with so big world population, competition is so strong, and success is measured by worldly achievement. So many people live in materialistic world, forgetting spirituality. They live to gratify craving, aversion, delusion. They do not want to control their mind, speech, and physical actions. It goes without saying, they are running towards suffering. Dukkha, it shows the characteristic of life. Anicca, things change. But Dharma does not change. Again, aren't we lucky to still have Dharma, although the Buddha has long passed away? Dharma, as the teaching of the Buddha, is our guidance in our everyday lives. So, despite the hardship we face from day to day, we can still move on in the path as taught by the Buddha. Dharma guides us to gradually develop our wisdom. In this fourth pillar of Buddha Sasana, we learn to perfect our mental, vocal, and physical actions. It is in this way that we should train ourselves. Why? Because we do not want to be called fools by the Buddha. Rather, we want to belong to the group called wise people. The Buddha has clearly stated this in Cinti Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 3.3. Because the fool has these three characteristics of a fool, marks of a fool, manifestation of a fool. What three? Here, a fool thinks badly, speaks badly, and acts badly. If the fool did not think badly, speak badly, and act badly, how would wise people know of him? This fellow is a fool, a bad person. But because he thinks badly, speaks badly, and acts badly, wise people know of him. This fellow is a fool, a bad person. These are the fool's three characteristics of a fool, marks of a fool, manifestation of a fool. The wise person has these three characteristics of a wise person, marks of a wise person, manifestation of wise person. What three? Here, a wise person thinks well, speaks well, and acts well. If the wise person did not think well, speak well, and act well, how would wise people know of him? this fellow is wise, a good person. But because he thinks well, speaks well, and acts well, wise people know of him. This fellow is wise, a good person. These are the wise person's three characteristics of a wise person, marks of a wise person's manifestation of a wise person. Great homework for each of us. My dear Dharma sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, although we do not live in the same conditions and situations like Mahāpajāpatī Gotamīs, actually we are not all together in a disadvantage. The fact that so many people lived a spiritual life at Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī era shows that spiritual life is not something special. Everybody does it. Maybe that was what people said. However, the present conditions and situations create a tremendously big difference. Our Dharma life is extraordinarily different from the common lifestyle, and so it shines forth as a unique way of life. People might not be interested in joining us, but certainly they can see that our Dharma life is different. What we must keep on doing is showing the world the way to the cessation of suffering, how to be happy no matter what, when suffering then devours them as its victims. Maybe they will start searching in the opposite direction. If they have enough accumulation of merits from the previous life, maybe they will start living a Dharma life to go to liberation with our guidance as the disciples of the Buddha. As Bhikkhunis, we are lucky to have the trace left by Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. She was lucky to have been born at the same time when Buddha Gotama was born as a human being. Following the teaching of the Buddha, she was at last liberated, Nibbāna. Exactly the same as what we want, Nibbāna. But a big difference we can see between her life and ours. In Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Apadana, we learn that she was also very lucky to have been born at the same time when Buddha Padumuttara was born as a human being. It is interesting to see that if Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī became the wife of King Suddhodana at the time of Buddha Gotama, she was born into a very wealthy family who were also the disciples of Buddha Padumuttara. Thus, in both births, she was lucky to not live in poverty, a good foundation for the opportunity to learn Dharma, as she did not have to work for a living. It is also interesting to see that at the time of Buddha Padumuttara, she witnessed a very striking view how Buddha Padumuttara placed his aunt, who was a bhikkhuni, in a foremost position. She was at awe to see how Buddha Padumuttara honored his aunt. And so she aspired to that position. She aspired to the position of a Buddha's aunt, to be a bhikkhuni. What about us? We do not know what happened to us in the past. But one thing for sure, we know that now we have come to what we aspired to be a bhikkhuni. Let us be the best bhikkhunis we can possibly be. My dear Dharma sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, in the past, there were many disciples who attained Nibbāna under the direct leadership of Buddha Gotama. That happened because at that time, many human beings were aware of the importance of spiritual values. So they pursued it seriously, freed themselves from defilement of cravings, aversion, and delusion. No wonder many of them achieved the goal liberation. We are now in different era, when the defilements are served in so beautiful wrappings that they are alluring, fascinating, tempting, just like sweet poison, which surely will kill those who grasped it. Ironically, these fools grasped the poison happily, not knowing that they will soon be dead. Alas, it is our duty to unwrap the beautiful wrapping. It is our duty to reveal the danger of the poison of greed, hate, and delusion. But first of all, it is our duty to empower ourselves with wisdom. We must strengthen ourselves with Dharma, with our Dhammic daily life, so that it is unshakable. We must hold dearly the teaching of the Buddha pertaining physical, vocal, and mental conditions and actions. Otherwise, we will not be able to help those fools. There is big danger that we ourselves will become fools who are attracted to the poison. Yes, there is dukkha in every aspect of life, just like what Buddha has taught and shown. To be able to get rid of it, we all need wisdom. It is not easy to live as bhikkhunis in this present era, as there are only so few of us. Yes, it is not a reason for us to quit or to divert from the path, just like what Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī showed. She was true to her aspiration, and we learn that she succeeded in reaching her goal, Nibbāna. We are still so far away, but we must not despair. Why? If we continue walking along the Dharma path, one day we will come to our destination. How? Again, we are fortunate to have got Dharma, the guidance from our great teacher. It is clear that we must use our wisdom in every step we take. We must keep on without fail, increasing, maturing, and perfecting our wisdom, so that we can train ourselves in the Noble Eightfold Path. 1. Right view. 2. Right intention. 3. Right speech. 4. Right actions. 5. Right livelihood. 6. Right effort. 7. Right mindfulness. And 8. Right concentration. Well, we know all the theory, I suppose. So now what we must do is only to put it into practice. Let us guide ourselves, urge ourselves, force ourselves to use all the theory we know into daily practice. Let us keep on increasing the quality, the earnestness, the seriousness of our daily practice. Again, let us use our wisdom and intelligence to realize that the goal is still far, far away. We must strive very hard to attain what we want to attain, Nibbāna. That we must uproot the defilement, lobha, dosa, and moha. Quitting is not a choice. Yes, it is not an easy journey, just like what Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī has proved. Yet we have a very precious goal, which is worth all the pain and hardship and perseverance when our practice has become a second nature, has formed a skill we do every day. Things will certainly be easier because we have come to effortless effort. We can do it, my dear Dharma sisters and brothers. Yes, we can do it. The fact that we have been born as human beings, the fact that we have come in contact with Dharma, the fact that we have chosen to be Bhikkhunis, the fact that we have Bhikkhuni Sangha to work hard together, hand in hand. All these things make it easier for us to develop our wisdom and attain liberation. As long as we do not quit, as long as we keep staying in Dharma, like Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. My dear Dharma sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, in Anguttara Nikaya 9.25, the Buddha has also given us a guidance concerning wisdom. There are 8 causes and reasons that lead us to acquire the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life and to make our wisdom increase, grow, and fully develop once it has been acquired. 1. Living, relying on a spiritual teacher and setting up a keen sense of conscience and prudence for others with warmth and respect. 2. From time to time, asking questions to clarify what is unclear and obscure, to dispel doubt regarding the many doubtful matters. 3. Perfecting withdrawal of both body and mind after hearing the teaching. 4. Being ethical restraint in the monastic code, seeing danger in the slightest fault. 5. Being learned, remembering and keeping what we have learned. 6. Living with energy roused up for giving up unskillful qualities and embracing skillful qualities. Being strong, staunchly vigorous, not slacking off when it comes to developing skillful qualities. 7. Not engaging in unworthy talk. We should either talk on Dharma or invite someone else to talk on Dharma. Otherwise, we respect noble silence. 8. Meditating, observing rise and fall in the 5 grasping aggregates: form, feelings, perceptions, mental activity or formations, and consciousness. That is our inner struggle. So much to do, so little time. Samvega. Meanwhile, as we are a part of society, there are other things we can do as a community. We have done a lot of good karma as the 4th pillar of Buddhism. Although we are still young as a Sangha, let us keep in mind what we have done, are doing, and will do in the future. Contribution to Buddhism. 1. With the completion of 4 Buddhist pillars, Buddha Sasana is stronger. 2. What the Buddha has taught can go continuously from one generation to next generation. 3. As a pillar in Buddhism, Bhikkhuni Sangha can take action to explain to the world what is Dharma and what is Adharma. Contribution to society. 1. Bhikkhuni Sangha functions as a home for women who want to live spiritual lives as Bhikkhunis, who want to struggle to attain liberation. After all, many women have attained Nibbāna. 2. Bhikkhuni Sangha functions as a community for Bhikkhunis to get encouragement in learning, practicing, and struggling to eradicate suffering. 3. Bhikkhuni Sangha brings positive changes to society by propagating Dharma. Contribution to the world. 1. Bhikkhuni Sangha is a mind opener, showing that gender is not a decisive factor for an individual to reach perfection in spiritual attainment. 2. Bhikkhuni Sangha gives well-being, benefits, safety, peace, and happiness to human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, let us use this commemoration of the Parinibbāna of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī to strengthen our aspiration. We, like Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, aspire to attain Nibbāna. May we be protected by the Triple Gems. May the best come to us all. Thank you. Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you so much, Aya Santini.
Yes. Most welcome, Bhikkhunis Manggala. Most venerable Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis, ladies and gentlemen. 6 days have passed. Now we come to the last day safely. We are indeed so very lucky, but our lucky goes even further. In this wonderful occasion, we will have the honor to listen to Most Venerable Piswali Mahatero. Let us use this opportunity to learn from his advice, which I'm sure will be very beneficial for each of us. Please, Bante, we are all ears. Thank you.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Thank you, Venerable Bhikkhunis, Bhikkhus, Venerable Mahasangha, the Venerable Bhikkhuni. Am I audible, Bhikkhunis?
Yes,
To you?
Bante.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, and it's a very inspiring Dharma program for last 7 days. I have no doubt our Bhikkhuni coordinators, especially Bhikkhuni Santini, Bhikkhuni Sumangala, work very hard to make it success with blessing and support and guidance from Venerable Bhikkhuni Tathaloka, Venerable Bhikkhuni Liupa, Vidita Dhammo, Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda, and Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta, and your well-wishers and dear Upasakas and Upasikas. So your Dhamma program is great success. So I want to say Anumodana, and this is a great tribute to the Dhamma Mata and Bhikkhuni Matas, the first and foremost, most venerable late Mahāpajāpatī Mahātherani. So I think this is the first time that such a program I attended. And although I couldn't continue to listen to your Dhamma talks, but few I was attended, at least few. And so I pay homage to Mahātherani, Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī at this very, very occasion. And so I have very brief, short speech today because I have to attend another program just after this. So it's a great thing that Bhikkhuni Sangha is reviving with the great blessings of the Noble Triple Gems. Within a very short period of time, that after formation of United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha, I think is something is very suddenly is coming out. It's a kind of it's a waiting. I think it's a waiting. You know, something was waiting for this moment somewhere. So it's like somewhere is waiting, and is explored like that. Because it was so many years you struggle, keep on struggling and struggling in various ways. You have hardships, lot of hardships you have faced, and lot of struggled our theories here, and you have done for many years. Of course, we are remembering some theories just left, Bhikkhuni Kusuma and some other theories, those who struggle for this, and also Aya Khema and some others who left, who founded, who put the foundation stones and for the revival of Bhikkhuni Sasana in modern time. And so it's a great happiness at the moment that I'm so happy that today, of course, I want to say you that today I make a point. There were newly ordained Samaneris in Bodh Gaya today, and some newly ordained, more than 30 Samaneris. They just newly ordained Bhikkhuni Samaneris, and I invited them for today Sangadana. So I offer Sangadana on behalf of United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International to this newly ordained Samaneris. So this is how I think we have to work each other. We are Kalyana Mittas, each other. I feel that this is what Buddha used, the very term, to help each other. Be a Kalyana Mitta to each other. So in Buddha Sasana, we don't have anyone, whether it is a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, upasaka or upasika. Once we are under one word, Buddha Sasana, the disciples of the Buddha, the savakas of the Buddha, so we have to help each other. Because our aim is the one. Our goal is the one. Just now, Bhikkhuni Santini give a very inspiring Dhamma talk. And so I think in such a way, our theories, Bhikkhunis, inspiring our upasika, I think many upasikas is already online listening. Many upasaka also online listening. So you are greatly inspired, I think, no doubt. Because I think if one lady at home, because all the ladies cannot become bhikkhunis or theris. There are many, all Buddhist ladies, they cannot go to monastery and have this kind of bhikkhuni life. But you can inspire, you can inspire your children, your family members, your husband, your brothers, and other sisters at your family, that to lead a very spiritual life. This is what the need of the hour. The worldwide, we are facing lot of suffering, lot of crisis every day and night. It's so much suffering and misery. And the Kama Loka, is a lustful world everywhere. Wherever we see is full of lust, full of desires, full of that kind of ambitions, and full of passions. It's easy you become a victim of that passions. Very easy, because our mind is always going to the past and going to the dreams in the future. This is the nature of the mind. So we have many dreams in the future, and there's so much of past that accumulated, so much of memories that we are carrying. It's no use at all. Most of the memories that is stuck, we are carrying out. So it is, I feel that Nibbanic happiness at the moment, if we can enjoy this moment, this very moment. So if you can enjoy even for a minute, that Nibbanic happiness in this very moment. So this is what Buddha teach us when he teach about the being mindfulness at present moment. Being mindfulness. Because our mind is just like a market, it's full of stuff. So much of things we are carrying all the time. So listen to Dhamma time to time. In Mahamangala Sutta, it says, Kālena Dhamma Savana, Etang Mangala Muttama. Listen Dhamma whenever you have opportunity. Listen to Dhamma. Whenever you have opportunity, discuss the Dhamma whenever you have opportunity. This is what the most compassionate Buddha teach us. The world is full of suffering. We become victims of that continuously, birth and death. So that is why this Dhamma program is really inspiring to each and everyone, those joined online. And so as we Sangha, the bhikkhus, I think senior bhikkhus, some bhikkhus are supporting, we also supporting, and now you have become full freedom, I think. You are enjoying the full freedom now. You can continue. That is what Buddha says, that you are your own master. Dhamma is your own teacher. So when Dhamma is your own teacher and your own master, be a light unto yourself. This is Buddha's last word, Atta Dipo Bhava. So be a light unto yourself. And whatever others, you can get support, little support from others, but at the end, you are you. You have to take all the responsibility for our death and suffering, death and birth, the samsaric journey. We are suffering, nobody else. It is we at the end, that wanderer. So then it is our utmost that importance that we have to understand what is the importance of being a bhikkhuni, being a Buddhist, being a upasika or bhikkhu. We have to understand what is my job, what is my responsibility as a bhikkhu, as a bhikkhuni, as a upasaka, as a upasika. So if we understand this responsibility, I think we can do a lot to oneself, and also we can do a lot to the society at large, to the general public at last. Everywhere, last 2 years, we have seen in every country, we have heard the suffering, the miserable condition of the people, rich and poor, educated and uneducated, how they suffer, so much of suffer by hearing about the deaths of the thousands of people, how they suffering, miserable condition, helpless condition. They suffered a lot. So what else we need? The Four Noble Truths is everywhere available. But only we have to open our eyes, look at the left and right. You can see the Four Noble Truths, the sufferings, the death, the birth, old age, sickness, everywhere we can see. That is why when we see that, understand what it is that Yatha Bhutan, in Dhammacakka, what Buddha says, Yatha Bhutan Jnana Dasanam. See the things as it is. When we see at the moment, when we're walking on the road, we will learn so much of things, but we do not apply our wisdom, our intelligence to understand that things. That is why Buddha's teachings are very simple, not as so much what we think is so deep. I think it is so simple because he asks us to breathe, mindful on your breath. So mostly, this is so simple thing, but only the thing is that, it is so simple, so we have forgotten that. Because people are always serious. They like to be serious, not to be simple. So when we are serious, so you are very distant. You are running away from the reality or the truth. When you become more simple, so truth is so much close to us. It's so close to us. But because we are not putting our mindfulness at the moment, we are hanging around in the past or in the future. So always our mind is like a calamity. Always fight within. Is always problematic because we are unmindful all the time, most of the time. Sometimes I am also trying to be mindful at the moment. I try my best to do in my whole breath at the moment, the totality, putting all the mindfulness most of the time. When I take food, when I walk, it is meditation become a part of our daily life. It is our routine. So everybody cannot go to the monasteries, that those are listening. You can make your home as a meditation center. What you do, your office, you're traveling in a bus or somewhere. Just close your eyes, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Try to be mindful. Try to be mindful on your breathing. It is always follows us. Because life is so impermanent, we do not know next moment. So we cannot keep a hope, tomorrow or after 1 year or 10 years. It is just Buddha says, we are planning so many things for the future, but it is tomorrow. We have no any guarantee hope for tomorrow. So that is why if we plan for this moment, the plan will work well if we plan with mindfulness. When we plan everything, our projects, with our whole heart and mindfully, there is no way to become or turn it to any mistake or wrongs. It becomes perfectly well. So I think that this Dhamma program, you have planned with full of mindfulness and understanding for 7 days Dhamma program. So it is success. So it is success. So when you put your whole heart with understanding and mindfulness, is bound to be success. Why we do mistakes? Why we do wrongs? Because we are not practicing mindfulness at the moment. We are not putting our whole heart and whole understanding to this moment. So that is why living in Nibbana, living in Dhamma means what? Living in now. At the very moment of that we are speaking, at the very moment of that we are living, we are listening. So this moment is our life, and this moment is our death, and this moment is our Nibbana. So it is all about this moment. So I think United Theravada Bhikkhuni International must focus this way, the Dhamma teaching and the practice of mindfulness and the living. Let the people understand that living this moment is your real life and real happiness and the real satisfaction. So otherwise people doesn't have time to practice, meditation and practice mindfulness. Whatever we learn from the text, we must put it into practice. Then only we receive the blessings. Until and unless the text shall not put into practice, there is no blessings. There is no wisdom arising. Wisdom arising through practice. Mostly practice by thinking over it, meditating over it, and over again, remembering and research and re-investigating over that, and observation. What is coming in the mind, what is going, what is happening at this moment to moment. So I think this will be a great benefit to humanity. Every moment, the enlightening process is every moment happening, enlightening process. Enlightening is every moment process. So it is how we become a good example to ourselves then we become good example to others. When you talk about the peaceful mind, peace of the mind, it is that peace that we are enjoying, experiencing, we can share with others by our way of talking, by our way of behaving, by our way of speech, or our walking indifferently. The people follow us, they can see, because the bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, who practice the life of celibacy and the life of sannyasi, so they are a great example to the general public. They are great example. Even the witness of their outer appearance is a sense of blessings to others. So that is how thousands of thousands people at Buddha's time, for many centuries, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis inspired the society of Indian continent. That was the reason. The declining of Bhikkhuni Sasana, not only Bhikkhuni Sasana, Bhikkhuni and the friends of Dhamma, it is not only decline Bhikkhuni Sasana, even the Bhikkhu Sasana decline. So you do not worry about that disappearance of Bhikkhuni Sasana is the only fact in the past. It's even Bhikkhu Sasana also declined in so many ways, in so many reasons. If you go through the research, re-research of the past scriptures and so many historical backgrounds, we could find that there are various reasons for to decline Bhikkhu Sasana also. So there is anicca. Why we cry for anicca? Buddha says it is anicca everything. Yeah. So every moment is anicca continues. So impermanence is continuous. So it's a great, by observing this, the practice of anicca, every moment, everything is anicca. This morning we got news that one bhikkhuni, venerable from Thailand, is passed away. So it's great loss to Bhikkhuni Sasana. So this is how the life is going, coming and going, uncountable. So Buddha was a great, he's a really the person with the full of energy every moment. What is energy? It's the energy of the mind, the great energy of the mind. The people are wasting their energies every moment because they are putting the poison, negative energies, instead of positive energies. That is how we wasting, the public wasting their life. Because of the 99% people are accumulation full of negative energies, which is spreading all around. So it's need a great challenge. We have a great challenge to accumulate positive energy through meditation, through Dhamma practice, through understanding of Dhamma. So it becomes healing power. It's become a medicine to this sick society. Because the society is full of sickness, various sickness. Everywhere. Even we talk, so much of miserable stories we are listening. Everywhere. It's a universal impermanence. This is what Buddha said. Sabbhe sankhara. Universal impermanence. Everywhere. Everywhere. So it is, let's work together. Let's work together to spread the sublime Dhamma of the Tathagata Buddha And let's follow the path of the great enlightened masters, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis in the past and present, wherever they are. Let's work together with fourfold Sangha for the welfare of mankind, for the welfare of society at large. So this is how we can pay our homage, our tribute to the great enlightened masters in the past. Those took so much of hardships, sufferings to realize the Dharma. So this is how we can clearly understand. So we must be wise enough. We must be full of positive energies through the meditation and practice of Dhamma, learning of Dhamma, studying the various suttas that can give you so much of inspiration and motivation to practice this path. Of course, this path is hard in the sense because it is just like opposite to the current. We are just swimming opposite towards the current. So this is Buddha also felt once just after his enlightenment. He thought to himself, so difficult what I have realized. It's so sublime what I have realized. It's so pure. It's so pure what I have realized. But the world is full of miserable conditions, full of lust, full of desires, full of ambitions and full of passions. How my teaching, such a pure teaching, such a sublime teaching, can change, can digest, can go to heart of these worldly people? They're just in that kind of state. Their ears may be not close to my teaching. So Buddha had that kind of this feeling under the Bodhi tree. But at once again, he thought, in some way, world is like a lotus pond. It should, the ponds, the lotus coming from the mud, from the deep, from the dirt. But no matter, once it's come over from the water, it remains pure and fresh, the lotus flower. So the people's, the human being's mind, just like a lotus flower, it can overcome all the dirts and muds and come as a very fragrance. It spread the fragrance to the world once it's come out. So we are in this world with full of that kind of passions, but we can overcome it. We can overcome it. We need determination. We need heart of love and compassion. So there's nothing is impossible when we have that heart of mindfulness and pure and compassion. And practice, cultivate wisdom little by little, little by little, moment to moment. One day it's become big. One day become a wise, pure. So once again, my respect and thanks goes to our Bhikkhuni coordinators for your wonderful arrangements of this Dhamma program for last 7 days. So my anumodana to all of you, all the Bhikkhunis and Dhamma friends on this online, and to all beings, whatever for last 7 days, the sharing of Dhamma, the pure teachings of the Buddha. I anumodana to all Bhikkhunis, coordinators, and all the Bhikkhunis in the past, present. May you be always well and happy by these blessings of the noble teachings of the Buddha. You will cultivate the Dhamma and realize the Nibbāna at the very, very soon in this very life. And also all the Dhamma friends online, you hear Dhamma for last 7 days, you are really blissful and you are blessed for last 7 days to listen these noble teachings in this busy and chaotic lifestyle, chaotic society. You have spent your time, valuable time, to listen this Dhamma. May you always be well and happy and realize this Dhamma in this very life and get rid of all the samsaric suffering. May you all beings be well and happy, and I congratulate, and may the Triple Gems bless United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International to continue your great Dhamma activities for the welfare and benefit of the mankind. Thank you very much. May all be well and happy.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu, sadhu. Anumodana Bhante, thank you.
Thank you, Bhante, for your guidance, encouragement, and support. And Bhante is the Chief Sanghanayaka, General Secretary of Mahāpajāpatī Society of India. And we are very grateful to Bhante's continuous great effort in continuously reviving the Buddha Dhamma in India, the motherland of the Buddha and Buddhism, and also the fourfold assembly in the world, especially the Bhikkhuni Sangha. We shall remember your advice, Bhante. Be a Kalyana Mitta to the Buddha Sasana. Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu. We are also thankful to Aya Santini Mahateri for giving a very inspiring and insightful talk just now, and also the proactive call for the present Bhikkhuni and future Bhikkhuni to come in unity and be wise, to continue to provide for the future, for the fourfold assembly to carry on the Buddha's mission hopefully without losing the sight of liberation. So today, let us also refresh our mind with the life journey of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Mahateri Parinibbāna from the Apadana, part 1 to part 7, for your continuous reflection and inspiration in this commemoration.
Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Theri Apadana.
Videoku dimatiin.
Buddha Padumotara, the conqueror who clearly saw all phenomena, the leader, was born 100,000 world cycles ago.
He was born in Hamsawati in a minister's family. There was abounding in all sorts of benefits, rich, prosperous, and very wealthy. One day, I approached that bull among men together with my father and attended by a crowd of servant women. Seeing him like Wasawa, raining down the cloud of the doctrine, without taint, like the autumn sun resplendent with a network of rays, my mind was gladdened. And I heard his well-spoken words when that leader of men placed his aunt, who was a Bhikkhuni, in a foremost position. After hearing that, I gave a great gift of many requisites for 7 days to that unique one, the best of men, together with the order. Then, falling at his feet, I aspired to that position.
Then, in that great assembly, the best of seers said,
I shall praise the one who has fed the leader of the word and his order for 7 days. Hear my words. 100,000 word cycles from now, there will be reborn in the word the teacher who will be named Gotamī, through his lineage, a descendant of the Okaka clan. At that time, there will be a disciple of the teacher named Gotamī, who will be an heir to the doctrine, a legitimate offspring of the doctrine. This one will be the aunt of the Buddha, a foster mother of his life, and she will obtain prominence for long standing among the Bhikkhunis.
I rejoiced when I heard that. Then throughout my life, I served the conqueror with the requisites. Then I died. I was reborn in the Tawatimsa Dewa realm, and I surpassed all others in the 10 attributes. Forms, sounds, smells, tastes, tangible objects, longevity, complexion, training, and fame. In this way, I excelled in authority. I was brilliant. I was the beloved queen of the king of the immortal there. I journeyed on in continued existences, moving on by the wind of past actions, and I was born during the realm of King Kasi in a servant village. Exactly 500 servants lived there at that time. I became the wife of the eldest one of them all. The 500 self-dependent ones, or Pacheka Buddhas, entered the village on their arms round. Seeing them, all the women and I were pleased. Forming a guild, all the women served them for 4 months and gave sets of triple robes. Then we journeyed on with our husbands. Then, passing away, we all went to the Tawatimsa realm. Now, in our final existence, I was born in the town of Devadaha. My father was Ajana Saka, and my mother was Sulakana. Then I went to the home of Sudodana in Kapilawatu as his wife. The others were born in the Sakyan clan and came to the home of the Sakyans. I'm the most eminent of them all. I'm the foster mother of the conqueror. My son, having gone forth, became the Buddha, the leader. After that, I went forth with the 500 women. And together with those wise Sakyan women, I attained peace and happiness. Those who were our husbands in our previous birth having done meritorious deeds together with us, being performers of the great doctrine, attained arahatship through the compassion of the Sublime One.
Once, the light of the world, the charioteer of men, was dwelling in the good hall of Kutagara in the great wood at Vesali. At that time, Bhikkhuni Gotamī, the aunt of the conqueror, lived there in the delightful town in a residence for Bhikkhunis built there. With the 500 Bhikkhunis who were free, being alone, she reflected thus in her mind:
I shall not be able to see the final quenching of the Buddha, or of the two chief disciples Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, or of Rahula, Ananda, or Nanda. Before giving up the life-forming elements and final peace, may I go to the protector of the world, the great sage, for permission.
The 500 Bhikkhunis reflected in the same way. With Kema at their head, they reflected thus: At that time, there was an earthquake and thundering of the drum of the Devas. The Devatas in their own abodes were oppressed with grief. Lamenting very pitifully, their tears poured forth there. They went up to Gotamī with her friends the Bhikkhunis. The Bhikkhunis fell down headfirst at her feet and spoke these words:
O noble lady, sprinkled with drops of water, there you were alone. The earth together with its mountains trembled. The thundering of the drums of the Devas is to be heard. What does it mean, O Gotamī?
Then she explained everything, just as she had thought it over, and they all explained just as they had thought it over.
O noble lady, if acquiring final quenching is pleasing to you, with the Buddha's permission, devoutly we will all be quenched. We departed from home and birth together. So as friends we will go to quenching, the supreme place.
What shall I say concerning going to quenching?
Then all of them together left the Bhikkhuni dwelling.
May the Devatas inhabiting the monastery of the Bhikkhunis forgive me. This is my last look at the Bhikkhunis' dwelling. What if I were to go to the unconditioned, where there is no old age, no death, no association with the unpleasant, nor separation from what is dear?
Hearing her words, those not free from passion, those legitimate heirs of the Sublime One, were afflicted by grief and lamented.
Alas, our merit is small. The dwelling of the Bhikkhunis has become empty without them. These legitimate offsprings of the conqueror, who are like stars at dawn, are not to be seen. Gotamī is going to quenching together with the 500 Bhikkhunis, just as the Ganges goes to the ocean with 500 rivers.
Seeing them going along the road, faithful women lay followers came out of their houses, fell down at their feet, and said thus:
Oh, you of great wealth, be reconciled with us. Do not abandon us without a protector. Do not be intent on being quenched.
Gotamī spoke a sweet speech in order to eliminate their grief.
Enough of your crying, children. Today is a time of joy for you. I have comprehended misery. Abandoning the cause of misery, cessation has been realized by me, and the path has been properly developed. I have attended on the teacher. I have done the Buddha's teaching. I have put down the heavy burden. Everything that leads to renewed existence has been rooted out. The arm for which one goes forth from the home to the homeless state, that aim has been attained by me. All bonds are destroyed. The Buddha and his doctrine remain undiminished. Now it is time for me to become quenched. Do not grieve for me, my children. Kondanya, Ananda, Nanda, etc., Rahula, and the conqueror remain. The order is happy and united. The sectarians have cut down their trees. The followers of the Okaka dynasty have risen up, crushing Mara. Children, is it not time now for me to be extinguished through quenching? That which I sought after for a long time is accomplished today. This is a time for beating the drum of joy. Children, why these tears? If you have any sympathy for me, and if you have any gratitude, then make a firm effort, all of you, for the continuation of the true doctrine. The fully awakened one gave women the going forth when I entreated him. Therefore, just as I would delight in it, so should you practice it.
Having urged them on in this way, at the head of the 500 Bhikkhunis, Gotamī went to the Buddha, paid homage to him, and spoke these words.
Oh, Sublime One, I am your mother, and you, O hero, are my father. O giver of the happiness of the true doctrine, O protector, I'm born of you, O Gotama. O Sublime One, this physical body of yours was raised by me. This blameless body of the doctrine of mine was raised by you. For a short period, I gave you milk to drink to assuage your thirst. You gave me the milk of the doctrine to drink, peace for all time. O great sage, you are without debt, protecting us from bondage. Desirous of a child, women request to obtain such a son. Whoever was mother to kings, such as Mandata, she was plunged into the sea of continued existences. You have made me cross over the ocean of continued existences, O Son. It is easy for women to obtain the title Chief Queen, Mother of the kind. But it is extremely difficult to obtain the title Mother of the Buddha. And that aspiration of mine, O great hero, has been fulfilled through you. Everything I aspired to, whether great or small, has been fulfilled by me. I wish to obtain final quenching, abandoning this body. Grant me permission, O hero, O ender of misery, O leader. Stretch forth your feet, soft as a lotus, and covered with the marks of wheels, hooks, and banners. I will make obeisance to you, best of sons. Make your body have the appearance of mask of gold. Having made it plain, your body is seen by me. I will go to peace, O leader.
Then the conqueror caused his aunt to see his body possessed of the 32 marks, adorned and very radiant, like the newly risen sun, appearing from a dense cloud. Then she fell down headfirst at the soles of his feet, marked with the wheel that had the radiance of a new sun, and that was like a lotus in blossom.
I bow down to the Son of Men, the banner of the family of the sun. I shall not see you again. I shall not see your final death. O chief of the world, we women are thought to perform all sorts of bad deeds. If there is any fault in me, may you forgive me, O compassionate one. I requested the going forth for women again and again. If there was any fault in that, may you forgive me, O bull among men. O hero, the Bhikkhunis were instructed by me with your permission. If there is any bad guidance there, may you forgive me, O forgiving Lord.
Indeed, what is to be dug up in an existence that was adorned with good virtues, free from harm? What answer shall I give you as you are going to quenching? My order of bhikkhus is completely pure, fit to escape from this world, seeing the elements of loss go out like the markings on the moon at dawn.
Then the other Bhikkhunis, like the stars following the moon around Sumeru while keeping it to the right, after falling down at the feet of the best of conquerors, stood there looking at his face.
My eye has never been satisfied before with the sight of you, nor my ear with your speech. May my whole mind obtain that unique satisfaction through the flavor of the doctrine. When you roar in the assembly, removing the arrogance of those holding other views, those who see you and hear your speech are fortunate, O bull among men. Those who bow down before your beautiful feet with long toes, copper-colored nails, and projecting heels are fortunate, O bearer of virtues. Those who hear your words, which are sweet, joyous, destructive of faults, and beneficial, are fortunate, O best of men. I am fortunate, O great hero, intent on worshipping your feet. I have crossed over the wilderness of continued existence through the good speech of the glorious one.
Then Gotamī obtained permission from the order of bhikkhus, devoutly paid homage to Rahula, Ananda, and Nanda, and said this:
I am disgusted with this body, which is like a snake hole, the abode of disease, a mass of misery, the haunt of old age and death, full of various kinds of impurity, dependent on others without impulse. Therefore, I wish to be quenched. Give me permission, O son.
Nanda, Rahula, and Bhada, who were free from grief without chains, firm as mountains standing, reflected on the nature of phenomena.
Woe be to the conditioned state, which is unsteady, without substance, like a plantain trunk, like a deceptive mirage, transitory, not lasting. Indeed, when the conqueror's aunt, the one who nourished the Buddha, Gotamī, is going to her end, then all conditioned states are impermanent.
And Ananda, who was still a trainer and attached to the conqueror, was afflicted by grief. With tears flowing, he lamented here piteously.
Alas, Gotamī is going to attain peace. Surely the Buddha will go to quenching soon, like a fire without fuel.
As he was lamenting in this way, Gotamī said to Ananda,
You whose knowledge is like the deep ocean, you who are devoted to serving the Buddha, do not be intent of grieving. A time of joy has arrived, my son. Through you, my son, I reached quenching as my refuge. You requested our father and obtained permission for us to go forth. Do not lose your mind, my son. Your effort has borne fruit. That which has not been seen by those in the past, even the teachers of the sectarians, that state has been experienced by very young 7-year-old girls. O protector of the Buddha's teaching, this is my last look at you. I am going, my son, there where, having gone, one is not to be seen. One day, while teaching the doctrine, the supreme leader of the world sneezed. Then, out of sympathy, I spoke a word of good wishes. May you live long, great hero. May you stay for an eon, O great sage. May you be without old age and death for the sake of all the world. After I spoke in this manner, the Buddha said this to me.
Buddhas are not to be praised in the way you pay homage to me, Gotamī.
Then how is homage paid to the perfect ones, O omniscient one? And how is homage not to be paid to Buddhas? Please reveal to me the answer to what has been asked.
See the disciples all together, putting forth energy resolute, always with strong effort. This is homage to the Buddhas.
Then I went to the monastery, and while I was alone, I thought to myself, when I come to the end of this existence, the Protector will approve of the United Assembly. Indeed, I shall go to final quenching. May I not see the disaster of the Buddha's demise. Thinking thus, I saw the best of sages. I announced the time of my final quenching to the leader. Then he gave me permission.
Know that it is the right time, O Gotamī.
My defilements are burnt out. All future births are completely destroyed. Having severed my bonds like an elephant, I live without chains. Welcome indeed was the presence of the best of Buddhas to me. I have attained the 3 true knowledges. I have done the Buddha's teaching. The 4 discriminations and also the 8 liberations are mine. I have realized the 6 direct knowledges. I have done the Buddha's teaching.
O Gotamī, in order to overcome their wrong views, show your supernormal powers to the young women who comprehended the doctrine but who have become confused.
Then Gotamī fell down before the fully awakened one, and she flew up into the sky and showed many supernormal powers with the Buddha's permission. Having been one, she became many, and having been many, she became one. She appeared and vanished. She went through a wall as if going through the sky without any obstacle. She plunged into the earth. She went on the water as if it were dry land without sinking. She went cross-legged through the sky like a bird. Then she brought her body under her control as far as the Brahma abode. She made Mount Sumeru into a stick and turned over the great earth with its roots. She made it into a sunshade. Then carrying it, she walked up and down the sky. Then she made the world full of smoke and full of garlands of flames, like the time when the 6 suns arise at the end of an age. In one fist, she grasped the large rocks in the river of the Muchalinda Lake at the foot of Mount Meru, like they were all mustard seeds. With the tip of her finger, she covered the sun and the moon. She wore 1,000 suns and moons like a garland. She carried the waters of the 4 great oceans in one hand and rained them forth like the great rain produced by the rain cloud at the end of an age. She made a wheel-turning monarch and his retinue appear on the surface of the sky. She showed a Garuda, an elephant, and a roaring lion. Being one, she created an immeasurable group of Bhikkhunis. Then she made them disappear, and being one again, she said to the sage,
Great hero, your aunt has accomplished your teachings, has arrived at her goal. I pay homage at your feet, O one with vision.
After showing these various sorts of supernormal powers, she descended from the surface of the sky. She paid homage to the light of the world and sat down on one side.
O great sage, it is 120 years since my birth. That is long enough, O hero. I shall be quenched, O leader.
Then all the assembly was very astonished. They paid respects with raised hands together and asked,
Noble lady, how did this unequal exertion of supernormal powers come about?
Then the other Bhikkhunis rose up to the surface of the sky, met there like stars, and blazed forth with great supernatural powers. They showed many supernormal powers, just as a well-trained smith makes gold malleable for shaping. And then they exhibited many different marvels. They delighted the noble speaker, the sage, with his retinue. They came down from the sky and paid homage to the best of seers. Then, with permission of the best of men, they sat down in appropriate places.
O Gotamī, you have been sympathetic to us all for a long time. Established through your meritorious deed, we have reached the annihilation of our taints. Our defilements are burnt out. All births are completely destroyed. Having severed our bones like an elephant, we live without taints.
Welcome indeed was the presence of the best of Buddhas to me. We have attained the 3 true knowledges. We have done the Buddha's teaching.
The 4 discriminations and also the 8 liberations are ours. We have realized the 6 direct knowledges. We have done the Buddha's teaching.
We have mastery of the supernormal powers. By means of the divine ear, we have mastery of the knowledge of mind, of the state of mind of others. O great sage!
We know our previous lives. Our divine eye has been purified. All of our taints are consumed. Now there is not renewed existence.
And truly, O great hero, in your presence, knowledge has arisen in us, and the comprehension of meaning, states, and etymology is known.
We have attended on you with thoughts of loving kindness, O leader. Permit us all quenching, O great sage.
What shall I say, since you say, we will be quenched? And now, you should do what you think it is time for.
Then Gotamī and the other Bhikkhunis paid homage to the conqueror, and they arose from their seats and returned to their monastery. Together with a group of people, the supreme leader of the world, the hero, accompanied his aunt as far as the gateway of the city. There Gotamī fell down at the feet of the kinsman of the world, together with all the others. This was the last veneration at his feet.
This is our last glimpse of the protector of the world. We shall not see your face that looks like ambrosia again.
My veneration, O hero, will not touch your feet that are so soft, O chief of the world. Today, I go to final peace.
What is material form to you, having seen phenomena as they are? All of this is conditioned, comfortless, transitory.
She went together with them into their own Bhikkhuni monastery, and she sat in the best seat, bending one leg in a half cross-legged position. So those food worshippers approached. Then the women followers there, those attached to the teachings of the Buddha, hearing her news, approached to pay homage at her feet. Beating themselves on the breast with their hands, afflicted by grief, they fell to the ground like vines with their roots cut off, lamenting piteously with a loud sound.
Oh, protector who gives us refuge, do not abandon us and go to final peace. We all fall down headfirst and entreat you.
The most zealous laywoman follower among them, who had faith and wisdom, stroking her head, made this speech.
Enough of your dejection, my children. That is giving in to the snares of Mara. Everything is impermanent, conditioned, ends in separation, and is unstable.
Then she sent them away, and she entered the excellent first absorption state, and the second, third, and fourth. And then she entered one after another the sphere of infinite space, the sphere of infinite consciousness, the sphere of nothingness, the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. Then Gotamī entered the absorption states in reverse order down to the first and back up to the fourth. When she arose from that, she was quenched like the flame of a lamp without taints, and there was a great earthquake and lightning fell from the sky. Drums rolled, devatas lamented. A shower of flowers rained down from the sky on the earth. Meru, the king of mountains, shook like a nectar on a stage downcast with grief, and the ocean roared. The Devas, Nagas, Asuras, and Brahmas were deeply moved at that moment. They lamented.
Indeed, formations are impermanent, just as this woman is dispersed. These who carry out the Buddha's teachings and who surrounded Gotamī, they are all quenched like the flame of a lamp without fuel. Alas, ties end in separation. Alas, all conditioned states are impermanent. Alas, life ends in destruction.
Then the Devas and Brahmas did what conforms to common practice and the proper time, and approached the best of seers. Then the teacher addressed Ananda, the ocean of learning.
Go, Ananda, announce my mother's final peace to the bhikkhus.
Then Ananda, with eyes full of tears, said in a broken voice,
May the bhikkhus assemble. Those who are in the east, south, west, and north, those who are in the vicinity, let the bhikkhus, the legitimate heirs of the Sublime One, hear this speech. This one who brought up the sage's final material body, making a great effort, Gotamī, she has gone to peace like the stars at sunrise. Putting aside concepts, the Buddha's mother has gone to the unequaled, the realm where even the one with the 5 eyes, the leader, cannot see her. Whoever has faith in the Sublime One, and whoever is dear to the great sage, let him, that legitimate offspring of the Sublime One, pay honor to the Buddha's mother.
Bhikkhus who heard him came, even those standing a very long way off, some by the power of the Buddha, some through being skilled in supernormal powers. They placed the couch on which Gotamī had slept in a beautiful, delightful, splendid pinnacled building, all made of gold. The 4 guardians of the world carried it on their shoulders. The other devas, Sakha, etc., were united at the pinnacled building. In all, there were 500 pinnacled buildings that were the color of the autumn sun, for they had been made by Visakama, Deva of the Tawatimsa realm, who is the architect of the Devas. All the 500 Bhikkhunis were laid on their couches and mounted on the shoulders of the Devas who went out in due order. The surface of the sky was completely covered with a canopy made of gold that was marked with the sun and moon together with the stars. Many flags were raised. Coverings of flowers were spread out. Lotuses descended from the sky, and a flower rose from the earth. The sun and moon were to be seen, and the stars blazed forth. Like the moon, the sun did not scorch, even though it had gone to the middle of the sky. The Devas honored them with celestial perfumes, fragrant garlands, instrumental music, dancing and singing. Then, according to their ability and their means, the Nagas and Asuras and Brahmas honored the Buddha's mother, who was quenched as she was taken out. All of those being taken out first, those legitimate offsprings of the Sublime One were quenched. And Gotamī, the honored one who nourished the Buddha, was taken out afterwards. In front, there were the Devas and men, together with the Nagas, Asuras and Brahmas. In back were the disciples with the Buddha who went to honor his mother. The final quenching of the Buddha was not the equal of the final quenching of Gotamī. Hers was a much more wonderful occasion. The Buddha did not prepare the bhikkhus for the Buddha's quenching the way the Buddha and Sariputta, etc. did for the quenching of Gotamī. They made pyres consisting of all sorts of perfume, and sweet-smelling powder was scattered there where they were cremated. Except for the bones, all the remaining parts were burnt. And then Ananda said the words that produced a profound stirring.
Gotamī has gone to her end. This is the appointed place her body was burned. It will not be long before the final quenching of the Buddha.
Then Ananda, urged by the Buddha, put the relics of Gotamī in a bowl and gave it to the protector. The best of sages took them in his hand and said,
Just as a large tree with hardwood that is standing up could fall down, because even the greatest mass possesses the characteristics of impermanence, Gotamī of the order of Bhikkhunis is quenched. Oh, the marvel when my mother was quenched! There is no grief or lamentation for her bodily remains. Others should not grieve for her. One who has gone beyond the ocean of continued existence, who avoided intense heat, who has become cool, who is well quenched. She was wise, of great wisdom, and also of extensive wisdom. Bear in mind, bhikkhus, that she was foremost in long standing among the Bhikkhunis. And Gotamī had mastery of the supernormal powers. By means of the divine ear element, she had mastery of the knowledge of the penetration of minds. She knew her previous lives. Her divine eye was purified, or her taints were consumed. Now there is no renewed existence. And she also had comprehension of meaning, states, and language. Her knowledge was pure. Therefore, she is not to be grieved for. Like a spark of fire from a sledgehammer that fades away and whose destination is not known, so too, the destination of those who are well liberated, who have crossed over the flood of the tides of sensual pleasures, who have reached unshakable happiness, cannot be pointed out. Therefore, be refugees to yourselves, develop the 7 constituents of awakening through the domain of the foundations of mindfulness, and you will be put an end to misery.
Thus these verses of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī were spoken.
Jayanto bodhiya mule sakyanang nandiwandano ewang tuang vijayo hi jayasu jaya manggale aparajita palang kesi se pathavi poakare abhiseke sabba buddhanang anggampanto pamuadati sunakhatang sumanggalang supapatang suhuntitang sukhano sumuhunto ca suyithang brahmacari supadak kinang kaya kammang waca kammang padang kinang mano kammang paniyadiyate padang kina padak kinani katawana labhantate padang kini.
collective reflection on the journey of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, Parinibbāna. Now, remembering this particular journey, it also arouses our samvega, the urgency to journey on the Noble Eightfold Path to enlightenment. So today we also have a few greetings and messages from the United Bhikkhunis around the world, and maybe now also rejoice with their greetings. From Venerable Karnika and Venerable Subira from Australia, Venerable Tongkai and Venerable Badranimala from Indonesia.
Yeah. Namo Buddhaya. First of all, I would like to thank you to Aya Santini, has given me the chance to have a short talk in the memory of our first Bhikkhuni in the world, Mahāpajāpatī. As you know, in India society, even now, they are not easy to accept gender equality. Therefore, Buddha Gautama refused her request for many times. However, nowadays, even in this difficult situation, many Bhikkhuni Sangha also have tried the best to establish Bhikkhuni Sangha around the world. I really proud all of you. The gender equality issue has deeply affected the situation of the traditional form of Buddhism with the unequal relationship between Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni Sangha. I still can remember, about 40 years ago, one day, a woman came to me and said, "Sorry, I only cook for Bhikkhu Sangha. I only serve Bhikkhu Sangha," etc. See, no matter how much the gender equality is issue, but it is not easy to change people's mind. It's okay for me, I told myself. I must try my best to help people, to learn Dharma, teach Dharma, and practice it. No matter how much obstacle I have to facing, I must strong enough to keep positive thinking always. The problem is not who can accept us as a Sangha member or who will serve us or not. The most important thing is we have to accept ourselves. Now, I would like to share that first, we must have long life learning in this high-tech era. Second, must have positive thinkings always. Third, must build our high-quality connections to each other. Finally, must have emotional stability in ordained life. It is widely reported that females are more sensitive to facial emotions compared with males. So if we could cultivate ourselves in a well-being ordained life and quality ordained life in the future, our senior Mahāpajāpatī Bhikkhuni not only lived 2,500 years ago, but now among every Bhikkhuni Sangha will become another quality ordained life as Bhikkhuni Mahāpajāpatī. This is a very simple talk to share with you. I wish all of you will have healthy physical and stability emotions. May all beings Be happy anytime and everywhere. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Thank you, Venerable Chongkai.
Namo Sangyang Adi Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amito. I, Parinibbāna from Sangha Agung Indonesia, Indonesia Buddhayana Sangha, would like to thank you for the opportunity given to us to participate in this very happy event. As women in Buddhist cycles, we should be grateful to Venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. The reason being is her courage to break through the patriarchal walls that have been so strong and thick in ancient India to enter the Sangha assembly. She was willing to sacrifice leaving all the comfort and luxuries of being queen to become a nun. Her success in practicing proved that men and women have the same potential to reach the highest spirituality, namely Nibbana. And by being a pioneer, the first nun to enter the Sangha assembly, she proved the way for other women to follow in her footprints, leading a spiritual life and attaining liberation from Nibbana. Thus, the four pillars, Chatuparisa, in the Buddha Sasana, namely the assembly of monks, nuns, Upasaka, and Upasika, can stand firmly to support the continuity and preservation of the Dharma of Buddha's teaching to this day. With loving kindness, be well, be safe, and happy. Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you very much, Venerable Parinibbāna.
My name is Venerable Karunika. I'm coming to you from Santi Forest Monastery in New South Wales. I'm sitting here in the land of the Gandangara people, and I wish to acknowledge the ancient custodians of this land, past, present, and future. And today I would like to just share a few verses from the Theri Apadana from Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, which has inspired my heart. Gotamī is going smiling. Surely then soon the Buddha too will be going to Nirvana, like a fire whose fuel has run out. Gotamī said to Ananda, who was lamenting in this way, O son, keen on serving Buddha, your wisdom is deep, as is the sea. And so you really should not mourn when the time for smiling has come. Son, through your assistance to me, I've realized Nirvana. Being requested by you, dear, Buddha gave us ordination. Therefore, do not be distressed, son. Your effort is now bearing fruit. That state unseen by the ancients, and likewise by rival teachers, is known by Buddhist young maidens when they are only 7 years old. So take your final look at me. Persevere of the Buddha's word. Son, I am going to that place where one who's gone cannot be seen. So even more than 2,500 years later, sitting here in a non-traditional Buddhist country, which is Australia, still both young and old women have the opportunity to live this beautiful path laid out by the Buddha. And I feel so much gratitude also for Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, who started or who requested that may the women also be able to walk this path. And here at Santi Forest Monastery, we have these opportunities just like the time of the Buddha, the nuns, what they would have had, living in kutis in the forest with the streamlets and waterfalls and beautiful trees and gullies where we can sit and walk and meditate and live this very peaceful life. And hopefully we too will be able to go smiling, just like Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī did. So that is what I would like to share on this occasion of celebrating the Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī's Parinibbāna. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Karunika from Australia. And we have the last one, Venerable Subira.
Hello everyone, my name is Aya Santini and I'm joining you today from Mettarama Nuns Monastery in Western Sydney, located on the traditional land of the Cadrigal people of the Darug Nation. I'm joining you today to express my congratulations to the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International on the completion of their Dharma program in commemoration of the Parinibbāna of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. And this program has been called the Pillar of Strength and Liberation. So obviously the Parinibbāna of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī is a significant event for all Buddhists, but for the Bhikkhuni Sangha in particular. So I'd like to express my respect and gratitude to all of the speakers who have presented, to Venerable Sri Saranakara, to Venerable P. Siwali, to Venerable Sudarshana, to Venerable Tatalika, to Venerable Santini, to Venerable Vidita Dhamma, to Venerable Dhammananda, Venerable Bodhicitta, and Venerable Sumangala, as well as expressing my gratitude to the organizers and sending my best wishes to all of the participants. So my gratitude and appreciation to everyone who has made this program possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Thank you, Venerable Subira. And now is the time where we come to the dedication and tribute to all our great Bhikkhunis, and in commemoration of Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Mahāteri Parinibbāna Day and the 500 founding Mahāteris in India. We also commemorate with profound respect to all our Mahāteris, Sanghamita Mahāteri, and all Mahāteris in Sri Lanka that have paved way for women to reach the highest goal in life, and honor to the fully enlightened Buddha. May we have the slide, please? So with profound respect, we also commemorate the 20th century Bhikkhuni Sangha, who have pioneered the revival and continuity of Bhikkhuni Sasana. So to all mother of Bhikkhunis, past, present, and future, from generation to generation, our humble respect and gratitude for providing us this path, the journey to enlightenment, and to continue to uphold the pillar, to support and bring forth the Buddha Sasana. Long live the Buddha Sasana. We also like to commemorate our 20th century Bhikkhunis Mahatheris, and in memory of Venerable Bhikkhuni Kusuma Mahatheri for her attainment and contribution to Bhikkhuni Sasana and society. Also to our Venerable Bhikkhuni Visakha Mahatheri for her attainment and contribution to the Bhikkhuni Sasana and society. Gratitude also in commemoration to Venerable Bhikkhuni Vayamatheri for her attainment and contribution to the Bhikkhuni Sasana and society. Now, and today, we have received a news where one of our senior most Bhikkhuni in Thailand, Venerable Bhikkhuni Pra Ajahn Nantayani Theri, who has just passed away this morning. And we'd like to also commemorate this in this event. And Venerable Bhikkhuni Pra Ajahn Nantayani Theri, abbess of Nirotarang Bhikkhuni Arama and Sudajit Bhikkhuni Arama in Chiang Mai. And with calm mind, we honor the memory and commemorate her excellent life. She was 68 years old with more than 14 years in monastic life, 27 years as abbess and 14 vasas as a bhikkhuni. She was born in 1954 and began studying the teaching of Ajahn Buddhadasa with interest in the second year of university, and then began training on site at Khao Suan Luang Meditation Center by Upasika Ki Nanayon.
Bukan dinaikin di enter, yang atasnya di enter. Yeah.
And in 1980, she became a preceptor nun under the forest monk Kuba Brahmajakan. She then spent 11 years as a 10 precept Meiji at Wat Tam Tong, founded by Luang Por Man, and trusted to give Dhamma talks and lead the Meiji's community. Then Meiji Nantayani studied Vipassana from Luang Por Tong Sri Sumangalo, the abbot of Wat Chong Tong, in 1991, who later became her mentor for the remainder of her life. Meiji Suwan Nantayani's teaching focused on Sila, Citta, Panya, discipline, concentration, wisdom, and she then set off wandering with a group of 5 Meijis on Tudong, practicing the Tangas. After 3 years of wandering, a wealthy supporter donated the land that was to first become a Meiji Samnak and later Nirotarang Bhikkhuni Arama in 1995. 10 years later, in 2006, Meiji Nantayani traveled to Sri Lanka with a dedicated group of 5 of her Meiji students and undertook Samaneri Pabaja, followed by Bhikkhuni ordination in Sri Lanka in 2008 with Bhikkhuni Mahāpajāpatī Most Venerable Paduke Sumitra Theri, was ordained in 1998 Bodh Gaya. Was among the first 3 Dambula Bhikkhuni preceptor as her Bhikkhuni Pavatini. From 2008, Venerable Bhikkhuni Pra Ajahn Nantayani began accepting students for Samaneri Pabaja at Nirotarang Bhikkhuni Arama, and by 2019, with 10 years seniority as a Bhikkhuni, she had more than 80 full-time monastic students in residence, Bhikkhunis, Sikamanas, and Samaneris. By 2022, the Nirotarang Bhikkhunis community had 4 locations with more than 200 monastic disciples and countless lay followers. Venerable Bhikkhuni Pra Ajahn Nantayani Theri is a monastic above reproach, excellent and highly disciplined in monastic sila, highly dedicated to and skilled in Vipassana insight meditation, and known for her greatly broad knowledge of the Pali texts, Vinaya, Sutta, and Abhidhamma. She was a Tipitaka Acharya. Venerable Nantayani Theri was a promising frontline Bhikkhuni in Thailand. Her departure is a loss to the Thai Bhikkhuni Sangha and the Buddha Sasana. In commemoration We would like to invite Venerable Santini Mahateri to do the chanting.
We have just heard the passing away of Venerable Pra-Ajahn Natayani. We have just heard Venerable Pra-Ajahn Natayani Theri, who had 14 vasas, pass away today. Again, we see how true Dharma is, that nothing is permanent in this world. Something we can do together now is to transfer our merits to her. May she attain liberation soon. Let us prepare ourselves for chanting, and may she be happy in new realm. Anicca vata sankhara uppadāvāya dhammino uppajjitva nirujjanti tesang upasamo sukho sabbe santa maranti ca maring suca marisare tatewa marisami nadhi me sang sayo anicca vata sankhara uppadāvāya dhammino uppajjitva nirujjanti tesang upasamo sukho sabbe santa maranti ca maring suca marisare tatewa marisami nadhi me sang sayo anicca vata sankhara uppādāvāya dhammino uppājjitva
Sanjitva nirujjanti tesang upasamo sukho sabbe santa maranti ca maring suca marisare tatewa marisami nadhi me thasang sayo.
Thank you, Venerable Santini Mahateri. And now, with gratitude, we'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the Venerable Bhikkhus, Venerable Bhikkhunis, and Upasaka and Upasikas for making these commemorative days fruitful. And recap with all the good teachings during these 7 days. We learn from the most Venerable Sri Sanankara Nayaka Mahatero to be patient and humble, and to never give up on the noble aspiration and the noble path. The world today needs Bhikkhuni Sangha to share and to uplift the mind and well-being of demons. And from most Venerable P. Sibali Nayaka Mahatero, the revival of Bhikkhuni in the 20th century is a great tribute to the Buddha, a tribute to the Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni Sangha, a tribute to the Fourfold Assembly, and a tribute to humanity. The Buddha's teaching is about cultivation of wisdom, so be wise and not proud. And again, Bhante's reminder is be a Kalyanamitta to the Buddha Sasana. And from Venerable Bhikkhuni Sudarshana Mahateri, USA, gratitude to Mahāpajāpatī Gotami's Mahateri's initiation to establish Bhikkhuni Sangha, and even today, it's a blessing that we can follow her path to enlightenment. Venerable Bhikkhu Tataloka Mahateri, USA, present us from various texts the true history of Mahāpajāpatī Parinibbāna is very much down to earth. There is a route to it. Arahantship or Parinibbāna is the end of the cycle of birth and death. No more returning to become Bodhisattva. Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahateri, Indonesia, has shown us to not take time for granted, have urgency to develop the mind towards enlightenment. That's the only safety. The Bhikkhuni Sangha and the spiritual path shown by the Buddha provides this opportunity. Venerable Bhikkhuni Vedita Dhamma Liupat Mahateri, Vietnam, has given us to understand the narrative in later Buddhist literature can be harmful towards sasana, and be cautious. Thus take the practice of Dhamma Vinaya as a guide. Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda, Terry, Thailand, has given us insight into Garudhamma, the code of reverence, and Bhikkhunis of today are practicing in reverence, with knowledge and wisdom, living in harmony in the community of Sangha. And Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Terry, Sri Lanka, Australia, has also shared with us and state that a spiritual leader's quality is not leading with oneself, but leading with many special qualities of mind and leading by example. Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumangga, Malaysia, has also shared with us the journey of enlightenment and visage vision, initiative, determination, training, heedful striving, realization, thus strengthening the Sangha and prolongation of Buddha Sasana. So we sincerely, from the deepest of our heart, to all the UTBSI coordinators, all the presenters, thank you so much for your wisdom, leadership, compassion, and contribution to the Buddha Sasana, and for working together as a united whole for the benefit of the many. We also would like to thank Venerable Bhikkhuni, Sakyadhammadina, and Bhikkhuni Vandana from India for their eulogy in memory of Venerable Visakha Mahatheri. And it brings us to much joy to see the great potential of future Bhikkhuni leaders in India, the motherland of the Buddha Dharma. Much gratitude also to the UTBSI technical team, Venerable Bhikkhuni Vijayani and Venerable Bhikkhuni Sarika of Vihara Kusalayani, who are behind the screen. Their diligence, cooperation, and troubleshooting is commendable. Also, their skills and creativity in creation of videos for this 7 days event are wonderful, and especially under supervision of Aya Santini, leading the team for creation of Apadana Gotamī video. Thanks also to the Dhammadharini US technical team for the assistance. The Venerable Chongkai, Venerable Karunika, Venerable Suvira, Venerable Bhadrani-mala, thank you for the impromptu commemorative greetings. We would also like to thank Upasika Megawati for her commitment in becoming our moderator number 2. Indeed, we are grateful to all who have contributed, and in case your name is not mentioned here, my apology, but please know that your direct and indirect contribution is very much appreciated and with much merit. Due to your commitment, UTBSI 7 days Dharma program have been carried out smoothly and successfully and has benefited hundreds of people. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks again to all our participants in this inaugural assembly who has eagerly listened attentively to the Dhamma and follow this program for 7 days. Now, we'd like to invite Most Venerable Santini Mahatheri to conclude this session with blessings and sharing of merits.
We are sorry to know that Bhante Siwali has something important to do, so he cannot be with us as scheduled to give blessings this time. However, he has asked me to replace him, giving blessings on his behalf. The idea is that what we do is very meaningful for so many beings, and we wish that the good merits we have accumulated during this program are transferred to all beings who can benefit from our good karma together. Let's prepare ourselves for it. Yataha varivaha pura paripurenti sagara evame vaito adinang petanang upakapati ichitang patitang tumhang kipame wasamijatu sabbe purentu sangkappa cando panaraso yatha manijo tiraso yatha Sambiyantiyo avivanjantu sabarogo vina satuma te bhavatwantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava Dana Sili Sanin Chang Wadha Pachaino Chantaro Dhamma Dan Ti Ayuano Sukha Ba Sabba Buddha Sambadhammanubhavena Basanganubhavena Buddha Tanang Dhammaratanang Sangharatanang Tinang Ratananang Nua Bhavena Cha Tuara Sitya Sahasa Dhamma Khandha Nubhavena Pitakataya Nubhavena Jinasawaka Nubhavena Sa Bete roga sa bete baya sambete antaraya sambete upandawa sam Dunimienta sambete awamang galawina santu ayuwa kodana wada ko siri wada ko yasa wada ko bala wada ko wana wada ko sukha wada ko tusa Bada dungkaro gabaya wera soka satu cupan dawa aneka taraya piwinasan tu jate jasa jaya sindi danang labang Soti bagyang sukha balang siria yucawan noaca bogang wadi jaya sawa satawasa yuca jiwa sindi bawan tute bawa tu sam bamangala rakan tu sam badewata sam babudha nubavena sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sam bamangala rakantu sam badewata sambadhamma nubhavena sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabamangala rakantu sabadewata sabbasangha bhavena sada soti bhavantu te.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Aya Santini. And with all the blessings and the sharing of merits, may all of us continue to have good health, happiness, and peace continuously cultivate the Dhamma until one day attain the highest bliss of Nibbana. So with this, we would like to make an announcement before we end the program. And we are glad to announce that the UTBSI will be having collaborative Dhamma program with Mahāpajāpatī Society of India and other Buddhist institutions in the coming months. We hope you look out to our program in April. In May, we have also celebration of 2022 Vesak Day program. And in July, we will have another Dhamma program, also in August. And in September, we are celebrating the International Bhikkhuni Dhamma Day. And for November or December, there will be a Samaneri and Bhikkhuni higher ordination ceremony at Bukaya in commemoration of revival of 20th century Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. So we look forward for all these important events to benefit all sentient beings. And with that, now we have come to the end of the 7 days UTBSI Dhamma program. And again, we would like to thank everyone for your time. And we look forward to see you again. Do subscribe to our UTBSI YouTube channel for more Dhamma input and updates. Thank you very much. Good night. So may all be well and happy.